Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Security in Motion. This is a place where we try and have conversations about topics that move our industry forward. And today, what I want to ask the question, I realize that it might be a little bit controversial and it's definitely subjective, is toughness a requirement to be a security professional? I know not in every facet of the industry, but if we're working in medium risk environments, do we have to have a certain level of toughness? And recent events have happened that made me think about this, but the one I'd like to talk about is a year or two ago, and we were working events, and we had a team member that the team leads did not want on their team. So he came to me and wanted to explain his position, and he's like, Scott, the problem is your team leads think that you have to be super tough to do the job. And I'm like, okay, this sounds interesting. Please explain. And he said, well, I sat down and they come right away and they tell me I have to stand up. And I'm like, okay, understood. I said, the reason for that is you are working the gate of an event. So you set the tone and the perception of what security is. So if you're standing and paying attention, it shows that security is vigilant. And we realize that it can be a little bit tough, and that's why the shifts are only 5 hours long, and we give you breaks during it. And he said, well, the other thing was I was cold, so I put my personal jacket on, and they told me I wasn't allowed. And I'm like, okay, they should have explained this better, but you cannot... If you're working security, you got to have security on your outermost layer of clothing. So if you put a security jacket on, that would have been fine. But if you're covering up the security on your uniform, then you're not in compliance. So it wasn't a toughness issue, it was a compliance issue. But I do realize that toughness is a subjective thing rather than an objective thing. What some people might think is being super tough, to others might be super easy. So it's hard to quantify it, but my question is some level of toughness required as a security professional? And like I said, I'm interested to hear everybody's perspectives. You know, is it, isn't it? Am I being too toxic by expecting this? But I'm very curious to hear what you have to say. So thank you for listening, and everybody, please be safe out there.